y'all? What's up? What's good? What's poppin'? Today is just like a little chit chat. We're about to do a little talking about the ugly sides of surgery and the ugly sides of getting work done without the proper care and without the proper maintenance, right? Before we get started, if you are new here, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you my OD, my goodie, my alumni, what's poppin'? And I also want to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. I love y'all very much. I told you I was going to try to stay consistent. Of course, I have other content as well. I am still uploading the other videos that I told y'all I was uploading. And my editing is just taking a little bit longer because I don't know how to edit for real. So that's why majority of my videos is like straight through, because when I say I literally need editing for dummies, I need editing for dummies. And not too much on my hair. I gotta fix that frontal. Well, fix my little closure. Anyway, let me just, go ahead and start it off. So like I said, nobody really talks about the ugly sides of having surgery, getting work done, and not having the proper care after you get all this major work done, and just thinking your body is gonna still react the same and you don't need no extra care, which is why I always say in all of my other videos, you gotta make sure you got some bread after you get that work done. And just from my experience, I don't want to say it was like a near-death experience, but it was very serious, and it landed me in the hospital. And another surgery that I had literally went to Miami, and Miami did not have any pain medicine, so they sent me home literally with nothing. I had to fend for myself for 24 hours straight off of Tylenol extra strength after a major surgery. It's crazy. But one of my situations that I had, and I know it's a lot of women out here who got work done, who have passed away, and, RIP to y'all. And it's also women out here who had surgery done who almost lost their life. And I know a couple, actually. But having surgery is a really big deal. Everybody think like, oh, yeah, you look good, after everything is healed, and after, you ain't got to really worry about nothing else once, your body done came all the way together. And, big ups to the girls who didn't have any complications. I know it's a lot of girls out here who didn't have complications, but I know it's a lot of girls out here who did have complications. And those complications are real. Like, of course, I got my body done. I got a few things done. I got my breast did. I got a tummy tuck. I got 2 BBLs. I got 3 reductions. Of course, I kept going back or whatever. My first surgery, everything was a breeze. I got the work done or whatever. But then when I went back, my body just started, just take like a little turn or whatever. And after some months of having it, I'll say even after a year after having my second BBL, is when things started like kind of going downhill for me. And that's when I had started gaining weight and everything, which means when I started gaining weight, I started gaining weight in my butt. So I started having really, really bad back pains. And when I got my surgeries, I wasn't really going to get like the proper massages and stuff like that. So I ended up developing fibrosis, and I had fluid on my abdomen. And when I tell you it was like so bad and I was so painful, it was so painful because I went and I tried to get multiple things done at one time. And if you don't have the right amount of money and the proper care when you get all those major procedures done, like, it's very, very, very important for you to get that fluid drain. you know, is very important because that's how I end up developing fibrosis. So one of the situations that I had was when I had went and got a revision on my tummy tuck, because the first surgery I ever had was a tummy tuck, and that's before I got a BBL and everything. And I was like a little bit overweight when I had got my tummy tuck, and back then it wasn't really like a big thing when it came to like your BMI, because I guess a lot of doctors wasn't really educated on it, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a reasoning behind it, but I was overweight, so I had to go back and get a revision on my tummy tuck. And once I went and got a revision and tried to get my dog tags removed, and for people who don't know, dog tags are when you don't get an extended tummy tuck to go all the way around to your back and only go from waist to waist. If you have any fat or loose skin, it turns to like these little flap things. It's like on the side. So I have to go and get a revision and get those cut off. And I went and got that, and then I also got my breast did at the same time, which is like, you know, considered a mommy makeover or whatever the case is. And yeah, I came home. I had got a couple massages when I was in Miami, and I had got the work done, but I literally went and got surgery, and I guess it was just like a really high surgery rate at that time, and they didn't really have the proper pain medicine to treat me. So when my people who was out there who was helping me at that time, they was waiting on them to call and be like, you know, you can get the prescription, go pick up the pain medicine, because you're supposed to have your pain medicine as soon as you get out of surgery, especially after that anesthesia wear off. But this particular time, I was in so much pain after I got my surgery. Like, I was in so much pain, it was crazy. And I was just like bleeding, like literally from like everywhere. Fluid was still coming out. When I got up off the table, I didn't even have my bandages and my wraps on. They didn't do that until they woke me up. So just imagine the pain that I'm feeling from already being cut, poked, stapled, and all that, and still having to be squeezed into all of these bandages while you are awake. And you know, that was the first red flag. So my people picked me up from the hospital, and them not knowing, because that was my first time, well, that was their first time coming down there with me to get surgery, because like I never stayed in like in one of those houses. I always had somebody come down there and help me. And the one time I did have like a nurse come to my room. I had paid one of the nurses that was in Miami to come to my room and give me a massage and give me the care. But at this particular time, I didn't do that. And why I didn't do that? Because I didn't have the proper funds that I should have had when I went. You know, I really had just the money for the stay, for my surgery, and for whatever food needs that I needed to be met. So yeah, I'm out of surgery. They take me back to the hotel. Like I said, I'm just like, I'm bleeding. I'm fluid is coming out, everything like that. So I didn't have any pain medicine, like none whatsoever. And I'm happy I bought my Tylenol, because they do tell you to bring your Tylenol, you know, just as a little backup if you don't need the hard pain medicine after a while. So thank God I did bring that. So I literally had to like call from Miami to Chicago to have somebody overnight me some hydrocodone, so I could have the pain medicine. And they was like, oh, well, Miami is out of pain medicine, so yeah, we should be back stocked in a couple days. So my friend who was down there with me at the time, she like, a couple days, like, so what was she supposed to do in the meantime while she's down here hurting and aching and just got both of these procedures done? Nobody said, you know, nobody had anything, I can't even get the words out, but nobody like had an explanation, you know what I'm saying? And nobody had no decisions to resolve like what we were asking. So I'm literally just like, man, you know, we got to find something. We got to do something, because at this point I'm helpless. I can't do nothing but sit here, moan and cry, because my body was going through it. So we had to call all the way from Miami to Chicago to get pain medicine to ship down there one day. So literally for 24 hours after a major surgery, I'm living off of Tylenol. And they had went to the store and had got me some Tylenol extra strength PMs as well, so they could try to put me to sleep, so it could try to help me sleep or whatever. And that was like off and on. It was just like, it was crazy. So you would think, you know what I'm saying, a person that go through something like that would learn a lesson or whatever the case is. And like I said, I be seeing like a lot of the comments and everything like that, and a lot of y'all are right, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not sitting here because of course that is your opinion. That ain't nothing that is nothing against nobody. Y'all have y'all opinion, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm really perfectly fine with that. That's why I'm coming over here, and that's why I'm telling y'all my journey and telling y'all everything that I went through. Even the time when I went and I ended up catching fibrosis, and it looked like literally like a water balloon inside of my stomach. And the reason that happened was because my incisions had closed up because I did not get the proper massages and everything that I should have gotten. And the fluid started trying to come out through my belly button. And I'm not thinking that it's nothing bad, because at that time, like, it wasn't hurting for real. It just was like, oh, okay, like, what is this? Like, I knew it was something, but I also know that when you go get surgery out of town, and you come back to your hometown, it's very few hospitals and very few doctors that is going to take you and see you, because that's not where you get that procedure done. That they would rather you go back to where you get that procedure done so they can retract and go in probably in those incisions, or do something to get you together. But so it took me a while to even find somebody who would help me and actually tell me what was going on, because I didn't know. It was like I literally could like push the bottom of my stomach, and when I pushed the bottom of my stomach, it literally like poked, like went, all the fluid went up or whatever, and like you can like hit it and it looked like a wave. So I was like dealing with that or whatever, and at that time, that's when I was like, yeah, I can't do this surgery thing again, because like it's too risky. And it's like once you get one surgery done, you literally start finding all type of stuff that you feel like you need done to yourself. Surgery is very addictive. It could be a very addicting thing, and that's not good either, because like I said, first of all, it costs a lot of money to get that surgery. It also costs a lot of money to keep up with that surgery. And my doctor literally told me, like, because I had to stay in the hospital. Once I did find a hospital, I went to Rush. Once I did find a hospital that was willing to go in and see what was going on, my blood pressure was super spiked. They told me that I had caught an infection on the inside, and like you couldn't see the infection on the outside. I caught an infection on the inside. So I literally had to have like this big long tube poke into my stomach in certain spots for them to pull that fluid out, for them to actually even see where the infection was. And I'm not saying this to like scare anybody. This is literally just my experience and what I went through, and as to why I'm advocating when it comes to like getting surgery done. I could be called stupid, I could be called insecure, I could be called dumb, I could be whatever, but one thing I do know is that my journey can help somebody else, because it's people out here that's still getting work done and still not having the proper care that they need to have. They just think it's one and done, a surgery, and that's it. But I'm happy that I'm in a space where I am right now today to know, like, I'm done with that surgery thing. Whatever my body look like right now is what my body is going to look like. I don't plan on going back and getting nothing done. Like I said, I did get my boobs done, so I got to go back in like another 8 years, just for them to check everything out and make sure everything is cool. I said, by the time it's time for me to go back, hell, I might want the implants out. Don't get me wrong. I love my girls, because I literally ain't had none. Chest was looking sad. But, if I could just retract and just go back, it's just so many things that I would have done differently than what I did. And all I'm saying is, like, just pay attention and make sure you have the proper money and make sure you have the proper amount of care, so nobody have to go through a near-death experience to sit down. Because I know people that literally go back to back to back to back to get work done. Then you go into different doctors. So these doctors don't really know what this doctor did. All they doing is going over this doctor work. And now, it's just like a revolving door. And for the girls who do get that bread and do get that money, hats off to you, because I don't care how much money you get. It is expensive. It is expensive. I literally had 9 massages once I left the hospital, and I knew that I had to start going to one of the nurses that take care of plastic surgery. Those 9 massages cost me $1,250. And I'm like, wow, for a massage that lasts all of 30 minutes. So I was like, yeah, that's a lot. I'm like, I'm not gonna keep on doing this. But like I said, my videos is not to scare anybody. My videos are strictly educational reasons. And if you don't have to get work done, don't get it done. If you have to or you want to, and that's something that you really, really want, just make sure you do your homework and you find a doctor who actually care and who credentials is all the way up there. And going to these new doctors just because they got these specials going on, that's not always the best option either. Oh, I don't want to pay $8,000. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna pay $3,600, but that's because this doctor is new, probably not even board certified. That's why a lot of them doctors in Miami is getting fired and going to start their own practice, because they probably done killed somebody on the table, gave somebody an infection, or whatever the situation is. Just pay attention. Don't just go out here all free balling because you got a few extra $1,000 and you like, oh, I'm finna go get XYZ done. Because after that, it's still a process. It's still a process. It's still things you have to go through. It's still things that you have to deal with. And your health is number one. Your health is number one. And I saw a couple people in my comments like, oh, you're educated now. Yeah, I'm very educated because it's things that I had to go through to get educated. I went through the trials and tribulations. Y'all didn't. So yes, I am educated now. Yes, I can help other people who want to go get work done and have those questions that some people are scared to talk about, because it's the ugly truth behind surgery. Surgery is not glitz and glam. It hurt. You are down. Anything can happen. Literally anything can happen. I don't care how healthy you may think you are. Anything can happen, literally. So yeah, that's just pretty much what this video, was about. It was just very short. I was just sitting in my car and I was just thinking about it. And I'm like, let me tell my people who actually in here listening. And I'm like, just off the strength of me posting my last video, I gained hundreds of subscribers, because some people do want to hear that journey. And to the people who don't, it's easy to just keep on moving and click. And yes, I saw yes, I block. Yeah, I do. I do block because it's my page and that's what I want to do. And I enjoy talking to the girls because I be having women really reach out to me and ask me questions. And I really enjoy that. And if I have the answers, I'm going to give them the answers the best way that I can. Or try to point them in a direction where they can get the answers. Because these nurses and these doctors, they not going to really tell you, not all of them, but they ain't going to tell y'all the truth, man. These people just want y'all money. You a dancing dollar sign that you finna get cut on. And another thing before I go, be very mindful of who your doctor is, because you know that these doctors got other doctors that's working up under them that's probably new. And when you under the anesthesia, you don't know who in that room with you. You don't know who cutting on you. You don't know who doing those things to you. All you know is this is your doctor, because when you wake up, do you see that doctor? No, you do not. You see the nurses. They could have had somebody working under them, and that's why they're able to book so many surgeries at one time. Like, you be sitting there like, how you say you going to my doctor and your surgery at the same time as my surgery? Like, so you Houdini? You a magician? Yeah. So yeah, y'all, I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here. But yeah, ladies, just be mindful. And like I said, if y'all got any questions, comments, or concerns, please comment up under my videos, and I would do the best in my power to respond to all of y'all, because I do check my comments, and I do appreciate a lot of y'all who are calling me brave just for sharing my journey. And thank y'all for listening. I love y'all so much. Y'all are super dope, and I'm gonna continue to make these videos and continue to educate y'all. And anything that come on the top of my head, I'm gonna let y'all know. Cause y'all my girls, and y'all know we keep it real and raw over here. So yeah, until next time, I love y'all. I'm out.